डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar, I, Dr. Darshana Dalwadi, is welcoming you all to the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University in the lecture series of Bachelor of Science Information Technology. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about System Analysis and Design, Block 1, Unit 1, that is Overview of System Analysis and Designing. Dear learners, in previous lecture, we have discussed about the introduction part of the system analysis and design. Thereafter, we have seen its constraints as well as we have seen the properties of a system. Whenever we are having any system, we will have three constraints. First constraint we have, that is the interconnectivity. First constraint we have, that is the structure as well as behavior. Second one we have, that is interconnectivity, and third one we have, that is the objective of the organization. Thereafter we have seen its properties. Different properties we are having, that is the organization of system, interaction, interconnectivity, interconnection, that already we have seen. Now we are going to see the next point. In today's lecture, we will try to cover elements of a system, types of a system, system models, categories of information, and at the end we will summarize whatever we have discussed. So let's start with our discussion. First one we have, that is elements of a system. Now when we are talking about the elements of a system, we can see that here we are having one diagram which is showing you how the system elements are. Here you can see first one we will have, that is input. Second one we will have, that is processor. Third one we will have, that is the output. From output we will have one thing which will come out, that is the output of our system. The name of the element is output, and what we are getting from it is the original output of our system. We will have system boundaries as well as the interfaces for the system. The whole thing is performing whole system. Each and everything, when we are including like this, we will have one whole system. To it one environment is provided. In environment we will have these things. What? Input, processor and output. With processor we will have some control mechanism also, as well as we will have one feedback mechanism which will give us the feedback about the system, what system we have made. Thereafter we will see the elements in detail. First one we have, that is output and input. Now in simple terms, when we are talking about input and output devices or parts, we can simply understand what we are giving is input, what we are getting is our output. So here also the same thing is there. The main aim of a system is to produce an output which is useful for its user. Inputs are the information that enters into the system for processing. Means what we are giving is input. What we are getting, whatever the system is generating, producing, is the output. Output is the outcome of processing. Input is given, the process is done. What output, whatever outcome we get, that is the output of that process. The third part we are having, that is process. To execute that process, we will have processor. We may have one processor or we may have processors who will execute which will execute the process. The processor is the element of a system that involves the actual transformation of input into output. What is the meaning of processor? We can say it is the element of a system which will transform input to output. It is the operational component of a system. Processors may modify the input either totally or partially, depending on the output specifications. Which type of output we require, based on that the input will be given. And based on our aim, means based on the desired output, the processing will be done. In that processing, it may transform the input totally, means whole input is transferred, or partially some part of that input will be transferred. As the output specification change, so does the processing. Means whatever output, desired output we have, based on that the processing will be done. Means processing is dependent on outputs. Whatever desired output we have, according to that the process will be in that system. In some cases, input is also modified to enable the processor for handling the transformation. Then after we have another one, control. We were having one element that was having the name as control. So what the control is doing? The control element guides the system. It is the decision making subsystem that controls the pattern of activities governing input, processing and output. In simple terms, we can understand the controlling of that system is done with the help of control element. The behavior of a computer system is controlled by the operating system and other supporting softwares. In order to keep system in balance, what and how much input is needed, that is determined by the output specifications. After this, we have feedback. Another element we were having, that is feedback. Now what feedback is doing? Feedback provides the control in a dynamic system. Positive feedback is routine in nature that encourages the performance of the system. Negative feedback is informal in nature that provides the controller with information for action. We may have two type of feedbacks. It may be positive or it may be negative. If we have positive feedback, then it is routine. Naturally, whatever feedback we give, that is positive feedback, which will encourage the performance of the system. It will try to enhance the performance of the system. And what does the negative feedback means? It is informal. We can say which is providing the controller with information for action. The feedback in which we require some action, that type of feedback is called as negative feedback. In elements of a system, we have another element, that is environment. Now what is the meaning of environment? Environment is the super system within which an organization operates. Each and every system will have one environment that will work as a super system where we are having our system. It is the source of external elements that strike on the system. Like if we are talking about any system, like you are talking about the mobile system, then that device which you are using is one system, mobile system, and the environment, surrounding environment from where you are entering the data into it, either it is having touchpad or it is having keyboard, you are entering it to enter the input, you require some environment. So that is what we are having here. So whenever we are having any type of system, we will have an environment which will work as a area from where the input can be given. It determines how a system must function. For example, vendors and competitors of organizations' environment may provide constraints that affect that actual performance of the business. After that, we have boundaries and interfaces. Another element we have, that is boundaries and interface. A system should be defined by its boundaries. Whenever system is there, boundaries should be there. Boundaries are the limits that identify its components, processes, and interrelationship when it interfaces with another system. Each system has boundaries that determine its sphere of influence and control. The knowledge of the boundaries of a given system is crucial in determining the nature of its interface with other systems for successful design. In simple terms, we can understand that we must have to provide boundary to the system. It provides the limits to the components, that after this they are not allowed to go or they are not allowed to function. That is the meaning of boundaries. And we have to provide one interface by which it will have the connection with the system or with the user. This is what about the elements. After that, next thing we have, that is types of system. The systems can be divided into number of categories, number of types. First type we have, that is physical or abstract systems. Now physical systems are what? Physical systems are tangible entities. We can touch and feel them. As the name suggests, we have physical systems, means they are tangible, to it we can touch and feel. Physical system may be static or dynamic in nature. For example, we can say desk and chairs are the physical parts of computer center which are static. A programmed computer is a dynamic system in which programs, data and applications can change according to the user's need. Abstract systems are non-physical entities or conceptual that may be formulas, representation or model of a real system. Conceptually, physically it is not having any existence. In concepts only, on paper we can say. It may be a formula, it may be a representation of a model of real system. So such type can be there in physical or abstract system. After that we have another type, that is open or closed system. Now in open or closed system what we have? An open system must interact with its environment. It receives inputs from and delivers output to the outside of the system. It receives input from the system and delivers output to the outside of the system. For example, we can say an information system which must adapt to the changing environmental conditions. A closed system does not interact with its environment. It is isolated from environmental influences. A completely closed system is rare in reality. Closed system does not interact with its environment. Understand it. It is not interacting with its environment. It is isolated from environmental influences. And we are not having, or we can say we have we can count on our fingers that type of systems we will have which are completely closed. So we can say it is rarely found. In reality, we are just having the systems which are interacting with the environment. So we are not able to find such type of system. It may be there and it will be there, but the number of such closed system will be less. After that we have adaptive and non-adaptive system. Adaptive system responds to the change in the environment in a way to improve their performance and to survive. For example, we can say human beings as well as animals. Adaptive system is which is giving the responses to the changes which it is having in the with the help of that interface from the environment, which will help to improve the performance. And non-adaptive system is the system which does not respond to the environment, which is not responding to the environment. For example, machines. When we are talking about these human beings and animals, if they are getting any response or any action from environment, then they can respond it. But at the same time, machine is there. Machine directly cannot give response to that change. So this is what we have in adaptive and non-adaptive system. After that we have permanent or temporary system. In permanent system, we can say it persists for long time. For example, we can say business policies. When we are deciding, when we are having any business and deciding its policy, it is not for short time. It will be for long time, like for 10 years or for 20 years. Temporary, that is permanent system. Now, what is there in temporary system? Temporary system is made for specified time, and after that they are demolished. Means for a specific time, like for 1 year the policy will be applied and then after they are shutting it. So if such type of thing we have which is for one particular time duration, for specified time duration, then it is temporary system. For example, we can say a DJ system is set up for a program and it is disassembled after the program. You are having any party and you are having DJ party, then you will have the arrangement of that DJ instruments. As the party is over, all the instruments are disconnected with each other, means the whole system is now disconnected with each other, and whatever assembling you were having, it is disassembled. So if such system you have, then it is temporary system. Then after we have natural and manufactured system. Natural systems are created by the nature. For example, we have solar system, seasonal system. And manufactured system are the system which are man-made, who have made it, which is made by the person or by the man, then it is called as a manufacture. Means manufacturing is done, it means it is manufactured system, like rockets, dams, trains, and many more we are having which are manufactured systems. Next one we have, that is deterministic or probabilistic system. Deterministic system operates in a predictable manner, and the interaction between system components is known with certainty. Means deterministic means you can determine, you can do some prediction that if such system is there, such input is given, which type of output you will receive. For example, 2 molecules of a hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen mix water. This we know. So if such type of thing is there, then we can say deterministic system. And probabilistic means, probabilistic system shows uncertain behavior. The exact output is not known. For example, we can say weather forecasting, mail delivery. If such system we have, then it is probabilistic system. Next one we have, that is social human machine machine system. Now social system is what? It is made up of people. For example, social clubs, societies, that is social system. Human machine system means in which both human and machines are involved, which will perform a particular task. Like we can say computer programming. Computer programming is a system in which computer and the programmer. Computer is a machine and programmer is a human. So human machine interaction is there. So that system will work as a human machine system. Then we have machine system. These type of systems are the system where human interfaces is neglected. All the tasks are performed by the machines only. For example, we can say an autonomous robot, or right now we are having many type of systems in which we are having no interaction of user do not have to interact anywhere. Each and everything is done with the help of machine. Once the user has to give input, rest of the things will be done by the machine only. That is machine system. Next we are having man-made information system. It is an interconnected set of information resources which will manage data for particular organization under direct management control. This system includes hardware, software, communication, data and application for producing information according to the need of an organization. Then after, when we are talking about this man-made information system, it can be divided into three types. First one is formal information system. It is based on the flow of information in the form of memos, instructions, and many more such things from top level to lower level of management. Second one we have, that is informal information system. This is employee based system which solves the day-to-day work related problems. And third one we have, that is computer based system. This system is directly dependent on the computer for managing business applications. For example, automatic library system, railway reservation system, banking system, and many more like this. After that we have system models. When we are talking about system models, first thing we have, that is schematic model. Now in schematic model what we have? It is a 2D chart that is showing the system elements and their linkages. How elements are there, how they are linked with each other. In 2-dimensional it will show us. Different arrows are used to show information flow, material flow and information feedback. That is schematic model, means one type of schema is given to us which is representing the system. Second one we have, that is flow system model. A flow system model shows the orderly flow of material, energy and information that hold the system together. In system we will have the material as well as the energy as well as information which will flow from one place to another place. So this flow system model will show the orderly flow of that things which is holding the system together. Program evaluation and review technique, PERT, is used to abstract a real world system in model form. Then after we are having static system model. This type of system models are representing one pair of relationship such as activity time or cost quantity. Pairing it is doing activity with time, cost with quantity. So thus this type of paired relationship is there, then it will come under static system models. The Gantt chart is one example of this static system model, which will give a static picture of an activity time relationship. Gantt chart is actually doing what? It is giving us the detail of activity and time duration, means on which time which activity was executed, or on which time the activity will be in which state. That is represented with the help of Gantt chart. So it is giving in pair time with activity. So that will come under static system model. Then after we have dynamic system model. Business organizations are dynamic systems. A dynamic model approximates the type of organization or application that analysts deal with. It is showing an ongoing, constantly changing status of the system. Dynamic means changes are there. Static means it will be same as it was made. No changes will be there. And in dynamic system model, we will have constant changing situation as well as changing status. It consists of inputs that enters the system, the processor through which transformation takes place, and the programs which are required for processing. The outputs that results from processing. So this is what we are having in dynamic system models. So in system models we have seen, let us have a look. Schematic model, which will give us the 2D view of the system elements as well as the links between them. Different arrows will be used to show the flow of information. Then after we are having flow system models, which will show the flow of material, energy and information in that system. PERT is the technique we are using in flow system model. Then third one we have, that is static system model, which is showing us paired relationship from with one element, how another element is connected, how that two are working in pairing. We have one Gantt chart which will help us to get the picture of activity with the help of time. That relationship will be there. And third one we have, that is dynamic model. It will consist input that enters the system, the processor through which transformation takes place, the programs which are required for processing, and the output that results from processing. So this is what we are having in system models. Remaining points we will discuss in next lecture. So up to that, have a great time. Namaskar.